All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of Top in Tech. And with me is a gentleman who I think needs no introduction, but I still will. Farid Yunus, who's the CEO of redONE. And I'll share a bit background of him later. But first, this section is, if you've seen the topic and you're watching, is because you're intrigued by the topic, right? Which is Activate to Innovate. And it's a chat with redONE, and just off camera just now, Farid said no holds barred, can ask you anything, because somebody asked a question about DNB. He said, no, I can take it on. So later, and also you can send your questions live to us while this session is on, and we will endeavor to answer those also. So we're going to try to get as many questions as possible. We're not going to be long-winded in our in answering questions and me asking questions, right? So really the topic is really around innovation, and I think everybody knows that innovation is seen as one of the key platforms for you to be able to improve the competitiveness of your business. And in this era now where you've got inflation now, for many of us now, you're going to experience inflation for the first time. People already are. What does that mean for your business, for your customers? So innovation becomes even more important, I would argue. And we're going to have questions around that, but also questions around, people asking very different questions also, all in. It's going to be interesting, 28 minutes when we get started. I'll see you shortly after this break. Okay, hey everybody, welcome back. And okay, there Farid giving a very timid, unlike Farid to give a timid just wave there, but okay, I'm gonna just quickly introduce Farid. He's actually steeped in the telco world, 2 decades at least, and if you see his LinkedIn profile, it's almost all there, so it's a very transparent person. He's actually an analyst covering the telco space from London, but in a company that we Malaysians would say sesat, because it's called the Yankee Group. You think the Yankee Group would be based in the US, but these guys were based in London.
Headquarters Boston.
Oh, headquarters Boston. Okay, there. So Farid was in the London base covering the telco industry. So then he came back to Malaysia and he joined Celcom. And you started Celcom in 2006, right?
Yes.
Okay. 2006, and then of course then in 2012 he actually became one of the pioneer staff members when actually redONE started. And after about 4 years, he was pulled back to Celcom, and because they had another, mission impossible task for him, which was to launch UDO. And I love the name, right? UDO, and the philosophy also that you, the customer, especially your Gen Z, know what you want best. So he started with that. I think you were there for 3 years as a CEO?
2 years.
2 years only. Okay, 2 years. And then they brought him back to where he is today, redONE. But before that, when he was in Celcom, you actually had some interesting roles, senior roles, right? You were the head of transformation and strategy. So transformation, of course, is all about digital. So he's well suited to answer questions about how innovation can be disruptive and can be an enabler also, right?
Hopefully.
So hopefully, yeah. So we'll get started. And really the first one, your value proposition for your company is so deceptively simple, right? It says let's back to basics. Life is complicated enough, and this was before all the flux in the world with incredible bad things happening in Ukraine and inflation now, supply chain disruptions. So you are saying that's complicated, but I want to ask you, with that tagline, that theme, or that vision, how do you deliver innovation around that promise?
Right. Well, you have to remember that 10 years ago, postpaid plans in particular, were not simple. There were some data bundles you can only use after midnight. You had different call rates for fixed line, other mobile networks. Yeah. So we decided to come in with a very simple proposition: free unlimited calls, and the lowest postpaid plan at 8 ringgit a month. And the cheapest in those days would have been 80. So and we were also the first to go completely paperless. So you don't have to go to a telco shop and fill in the postpaid form and triplicate, show your utility bill. No, my agents can sign you up anywhere as long as they have a smartphone, a smart card reader, and a SIM card for you to activate.
Wow. So you did that, but that was one example. But as also, that was easy to. I would argue that's almost easy to do, right? Make it dirt cheap, and your cost base is very low. You started out all digital, right? Incredibly lean and mean. But then beyond that, how did you try to wrap innovation around that? Or you're going to say it's a journey and that's the beginning and you got more to share?
It's not just about technology. You can also innovate in terms of your business process.
Absolutely.
So typically for postpaid dealers or services, the telcos will incentivize them by giving them a lump sum upfront, and after that the customer belongs to me.
Yes.
We turned it on its head. So we gave our dealers very little upfront, but instead we gave them a percentage of the customer's bill forever, as long as the customer pays their bill.
I actually did not know that. That's almost like a form of multi-level, right?
Direct selling, yeah.
Yeah, direct selling, right?
But the best part is, with postpaid, you have a problem of bad debt. Not all customers pay their bills. But if my dealer does not get his commission, he will chase the customer to pay the bill on our behalf.
Oh, okay.
And so we have very low churn, and our dealers have passive income, which really, really helped them during the pandemic.
Wow.
When they had to close their shops, they couldn't do road shows, but they're still earning 4 or 5 figures every month because they've been our dealers.
Wow. Passive income. Imagine that from a telco, right? Passive income. That's interesting. And actually, there was a question from a gentleman later about entrepreneurship opportunities around that, and we'll get to that soon. But let me just get my second question. I want to jump into the big picture, right, Farid, which is that your vision is to be the largest MVNO in Southeast Asia. And I'm thinking, why are you giving yourself that incredible stress level and that migraine?
I ask myself.
Yeah, so I mean, even being dominant in Malaysia is enough, then say we are to go regional, but you straight away, it's on your homepage, right? You want to be #1 in Southeast Asia. So that's a huge thing to do, but how are you trying to achieve that vision, right, for RedONE? And also, how is this goal embedded, I guess, in the corporate culture? Because you definitely cannot do it yourself, no matter how dynamic you are or your senior leadership team is, right?
Yeah. Well, we see Malaysia is very competitive. No other country of 30 million people has 7 spectrum holders, and not to mention the MVNOs. So for many years now, we realized that to truly grow, I mean, now we're already more than 500 million a year.
Yeah, revenue.
Wow. But to truly grow and profitable from year 1.
Wow, awesome, man.
We needed to go into the regions. I mean, Thailand, population 70 million.
Indonesia, 90 million. Almost.
Indonesia, 300 plus million.
Oh, sorry. Thailand is 70 million. You're right. Sorry.
And these places really have no MVNOs.
Yeah.
This is a green field for us.
Wow.
And we launched Singapore in 2019, RedONE Singapore. I'm very proud that we launched RedONE Thailand last year during the pandemic. Wow. I had to interview all the C-levels via Zoom. Wow. But that's working out very well. We have more than 1,000 agents already in Thailand. In less than a year. Yeah.
So the same model, right? That you
more or less.
In Malaysia, right?
More or less.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, others have tried, right?
Yeah, others have tried. So that's what I was saying, right? Somebody else had the same vision to want to be the #1 MVNO in Southeast Asia, and they had a larger database also, and they failed. So I guess it's also you were able to learn from their mistakes, and I'm sure you've got some people from that team also with you, right? And you make sure you don't repeat those mistakes, lah. No, really, yeah?
No, not at all. I think partly it's a question of timing.
Okay.
See, telcos are very hard to deal with.
Okay.
And so it comes to the telcos need to reach a certain maturity in order to view MVNOs as partners. Okay. Rather than, the government is forcing me to open my network. Yeah, competitor. So I think that timing was out. So, now everyone can talk, but with RedONE.
RedONE. Yeah, but also interesting, you mentioned telcos, have to deal with MVNOs. Actually, when you were in Celcom, you were also in charge of the MVNO portfolio, right? So it gave you a very intimate understanding of the pain points they face also. Yes. Right? And voila, you yourself are an MVNO now. So that has helped you out, I'm sure.
And it's aided us greatly when we go and talk to telcos in other countries because I can see that perspective.
Exactly. Interesting. Okay, cool. So look, this is your 10th year, as I mentioned earlier. And if I were to ask you to rate the innovation level of the company on a scale of 1 to 10, where would it be? And more importantly, how you're trying to drive it higher in the community culture?
See, I thought about this. I thought about this because in the early days, I'll probably put us at a 7.
So high? Oh, come on.
Relative.
You had too much coffee.
Relative to Malaysia. Relative to Malaysia. I'm talking about. I'm not comparing myself to the Google and the Ubers of the world. Okay. But more of late, as companies get bigger, you have more staff, you get more process driven, you lose that innovative edge. I'm sad to say. But that said, this pandemic has forced us to pivot somewhat. We've had to become more digital. We've Uberized how you find an agent. Our agent will accept the job and come and see you and explain to you and register you. And all this has happened because of the pandemic. So we're slowly becoming more innovative and agile again, but I think we still have a long way to go.
Long way to go. Good. I mean, you must be the most dissatisfied person with the innovation culture, right? Yeah, you should be the hardest one to please and then drive that down further.
Well, late last year, we actually set up a new digital division.
Okay.
Because the problem is you have
a new one. So you only had one, you set up a new one.
No, a new one. Because previously we're very siloed. Most companies are. You have your finance, you have your operations, you have your sales, and you have your IT guys who do their own thing in a cave somewhere, right? But to knock that down, I took people from all these departments and created a digital department that cuts across so that we can deploy and become digital end-to-end.
Wow, end-to-end. So, but you already started digital and you think there's more you can do, right? To be even more digital.
Well, in the past, all our digital in the drive is done by our IT guys and our billing guys. They're not really market focused.
Okay, understood. All right. I think they do say that digital is everyone's responsibility,
it
right?
Should be,
not just IT or you digital unit, you do IT, you do the innovation, right? Okay.
But with most companies,
you're democratizing, right, the ability to innovate.
Kind of. But the challenge for companies is breaking the old rigid structures and the ways of doing things. People are comfortable. So actually, the pandemic gave us a fantastic opportunity to break down this barrier.
Of course, interesting. Okay. I think you mentioned Innovate, right? And I think one of the key things about innovation is people must feel safe to fail, right? Because you want them to break things, you want them to experiment. Have you been able, I know CEOs I've spoken to, even from the US, a former Apple CEO, by the way, I've spoken to, said that you must make it comfortable and people must believe that they can fail and it's safe to fail. But the key thing then is to learn fast, right? So do you think that your people come in, they're comfortable to try something crazy, and even if they fail, they're not going to get a nasty email or WhatsApp, from you, or video call from you?
No one gets nasty.
Oh, okay.
We started up with 7 people.
Yeah, wow, 7.
And now we have about 350 here, another 50 in Thailand, another 30 in Singapore.
Okay.
And we do try things and we fail all the time.
That's healthy though. It's great to hear a CEO say we fail all the time. Yeah, seriously.
But you only need to get 1 out of 10 right. Yeah. But like you say, fail fast. And don't try and keep things alive just because.
Yeah, pet project.
It might be,
very important. Yeah,
correct. Waste of time.
So you got to be a bit ruthless in that sense. If something's not working, guys, move on, learn from this, right? And move on. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's move on to the next question now. I have a real problem with this, right? On your website also, you say you're going to be a super app. Everybody wants to be a damn super app, and it's so difficult to do. Seriously, it's very hard. So I'm glad you didn't call it mega app, you still using super app or meta, meta app. But what kind of service? Sorry,
hyperbole.
But you are rolling that out. What kind of services can people expect then? And are you obviously moving away from your core? Of course, you have to, right? You can't be a super app. You cannot just offer your bread and butter, what you're known for. So tell us a bit. Yeah,
because if you're just selling access to data and voice, etc., you are a no-frills utility, essentially. How do you differentiate yourself? And it's also about differentiating your sources of revenue.
Okay.
So we actually started being a reseller for insurance, for credit cards, phone insurance. We do all that today. Wow. And we plan to get 20% of our revenue from non-telco services.
20%, that's a lot. I hope you know what you're doing when you told the bosses, hey, 20%. Right?
Well, we also have a money lending license. And at the moment, we only lend to our partners because it's collateralized against the incentive we pay them. And we've lent out 20 million ringgit in the last year.
Seriously, yeah?
With a good rate of interest.
Really, yeah?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. My goodness, almost so many companies are going into lending their partners, right? Into lending them also small amounts, right? It can be like 20,000 even, right? It can go a long way to someone who wants to, right? Innovate and build a business. Is yours? What's your level at? Because just
the most is 1 million.
The most 1 million. Wow, that's
1%.
1%, huh? Wow, that's incredible, man.
But that shows you
brave, man.
But that shows you how successful some of our dealers are.
I was going to say
they can collateralize a million.
Wow, that's so interesting, man. So you're going to roll this out for this facility for
consumers. Now, next step is consumers.
Consumers, hear that now, right? Short-term loan, forget about the along.
That's right. If you are a RedONE customer and you've been with us for, say, more than 3 years, I know exactly where you live.
Oh, totally.
I know what apps you have on your phone. I know what websites you go to, what you spend on,
Sure.
And I can calculate my own risk ratio of how much I can lend you.
Wow.
We have more information than the banks.
Wow. So many digital startup companies say that. Honestly, you're talking like a startup CEO, right? It's interesting. So, but you come from a corporate background and you've been able to, your lingo also very natural. And this is not preordained, this is very spontaneous. So you do sound like a startup, you know, entrepreneur.
We try. I'm 50 this year, by the way.
No way, but you look 90, though, I'm going to say.
Too kind.
Because of your KPI, your target to be the number one in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, my wife.
Another deep sigh. Huh?
My wife keeps telling me, why? Why are you doing this to yourself? Be happy.
No, you want to live life on the edge, right? Make it meaningful and then drive your team also. That's how you attract good talent also. A talent wants to challenge. Somebody just told me yesterday, A talent like to challenge themselves. And if you have such a big, hairy, audacious goal, you're going to attract people, crazy people that will come and, hey, I like crazy, man. Let's try to make this happen.
Well, also, we're aiming for an IPO this year.
Oh, still, that's on. Okay, you heard it here first. Many times people have said IPO, now it's aiming for the IPO this year.
I mean, there's no reason we don't qualify. If I want
with $500 million revenue
and profitable,
yeah.
I could get listed in NASDAQ in 6 to 8 weeks. But we are loyal to Malaysia.
Okay.
So it's still in the works. And when you have a regional story to talk about,
of course,
or valuation.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm excited when you move to Indonesia, right? Super tough, but that would be a real battleground. Okay?
Well, technically, MVNOs are illegal in Indonesia.
Still, huh?
Still.
Okay. I have lost track of. I know they were trying to work to not allow that to happen, to allow innovation to happen. So not yet.
Coming soon, I hope.
Okay, but you'll be the first one knocking on the door.
For sure.
Okay, man, great. Regional Malaysian champion going regional. Okay. So you also, you talk about this having an ASEAN SIM for subscribers, and that dovetails with your vision of being, the number one in ASEAN. Right? Talk about what you're trying to do to make this happen. Then. And is there already an ASEAN SIM for at least the 3 countries now you're in?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, because we are in the midst of changing our back-end systems to enable the seamless.
Not easy to do on the back end.
But today, if you are a RedONE Singapore subscriber, you can come to Malaysia and roam like home. There's no roaming charge.
Wow.
It's like 1 SIM, 2 countries.
That's a huge incentive for Singaporeans.
Because 300,000 Malaysians cross use cross every day.
And on the weekends, probably 300,000 Singaporeans come
over. Exactly.
Just to fill your tank. Right?
And $8 a month just to keep your line alive.
Can afford it. Right. Yeah. Okay, interesting. All right, so you're working on getting the back end ready, because I know that is a very technical challenge, right? And engineering team is working on that. Okay, you've been around for a decade. What innovative initiatives, where can you talk about that and where you see redONE, right, 10 years from now? As an innovative company.
redONE, I wouldn't know.
Oh, redONE, sorry.
They're still around.
They're still around. Huh?
Yeah, we
started as redONE.
We were redONE Mobile. But then we got divorced in 2012.
2012, exactly.
And changed our name to redONE, actually.
redONE?
If you look at our word, it actually spells redone.
Oh, okay.
So we remade the company.
Interesting. Wow. Oh, redONE. Wow, that's smart, man. Innovative.
Inside joke. RedONE.
Okay.
10 years time. Dude, I don't even know what it will be like 3 years down the road.
Absolutely.
Things just change too fast.
Yep, absolutely. I know it's crazy. So, no, look, we've got some questions coming and horrifying. No way, there's only 5 minutes left, but we have the 5 minutes left. So, look, there's a question from an anonymous attendee. What's your advice for startups, right? To incorporate into their business model, right? Or what's your really advice for startups, right? For their business model to survive in this post-pandemic?
Okay. Well, actually, I think post-pandemic, it's made things a bit easier, actually. Okay. Working from home has become the norm.
It is, yes.
You don't need to rent a fancy office in KL, mid-valley anymore. You can, all of you can work virtually. You can hire people from Thailand, from Indonesia, from Pakistan. It's become irrelevant. So actually, your cost base can be much, much lower.
And should be,
And should be,
So just you're telling people to look at those opportunities and not just limit yourself to what you see or your immediate network, right?
And going down that same route of I need to get a physical space. I need physical people that I want to see every day. Must punch in and punch out. Forget it.
Those days are long gone. If you're thinking like that, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, then let me check another one. Is that actually there was a question from a former senior level executive at a fintech, and she was asking, what do you feel are the opportunities and challenges for companies, right, in the next 2 to 3 years? Opportunities and challenges. Big question, but
well, because nearly every company in every industry has had to become more digital in this post-pandemic era. Actually, my biggest headache is people. I can't get enough people with the right skills because everyone is competing for the same base of app developers, iOS developers.
And when you talk about everyone, it's everyone around the world, right?
Everyone around the world, that's right. So I have Singaporean companies poaching my developers, and I can't afford paying them Sing dollars. So that's my current biggest challenge.
Okay. But what about opportunities?
Opportunities.
And not just for you, but for companies out there also. Okay.
Q&A?
Yeah. Oh, no, we're doing that now.
All right.
Talk about the opportunities for companies then. You said challenges, right? Because talent. But what are the opportunities for people over the next 2 years, I guess, for companies?
Well, I don't think I have any deep insight into what these opportunities may be. And besides, if I knew what would succeed 100%, I wouldn't tell anyone. I'd do it myself.
Okay, because he's got a big, hairy, audacious goal himself, right? Number 1 in Southeast Asia, right? And wow, okay. And he's going for listing, so he needs to show big growth coming up. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Look, there were a few questions actually around innovation, and there's one about okay, oh, this is interesting, which I don't think is relevant to you, but Michelle Nandini is asking, what initiatives are you doing to improve connectivity in rural areas? So, which is really not your space, but like you can just let it down gently. Disappoint her.
Well, as a virtual network operator, we are very dependent on actually telco. They provide wholesale access to their network. So I can't roll out to rural areas. But it has to be said, we are contributors to the USP Fund.
Oh, yeah.
All telcos pay a percentage of their revenue to the USP Fund, and we have been dutifully paying.
Wonderful.
But when it comes time to claim back this USP to roll out infrastructure, as KMM say, I do not have an NFP license.
Oh, network facility
provider license. So it's a one-way street. I just give, and I cannot take back. Otherwise, I would love to help with rural coverage. Give me the 450 megahertz spectrum, and I will deploy huge, cover 100% of the country.
Wow, look at that, man. Big, hairy, audacious goal. I'll share with you right now. MCMC, anyone listening? Hey,
450.
Is that? 450, there you go. Very specific. Okay, look, there's a plan to go. Somebody is saying that, is there a plan for you to go 100% digitization in customer journey onboarding SIM to bring the barrier down to the lowest? But I think it's almost 100% you're saying from the very beginning. So this person may not have heard you from the very beginning.
Well, no, not really.
Oh.
In the case of UDO, it's 100% digital.
Okay.
They have no physical outlets or agents for that matter. But in the case of RedONE, we have found that the direct selling method works well. For example, when is the last time you clicked on a Facebook ad and bought something? When? For most people, the answer is never.
Never, for me, for sure.
But what if you go back to the kampung for Hari Raya, your cousin comes up to you and says, bro, your bill satu bulan berapa? You say, oh, 150. You say, what? You know, I'm a RedONE agent. Here, let me explain to you. You're sure going to try, especially if the entry level is 8 ringgit. You'll at least give it a try for your cousin's sake, right?
Sure.
There you go.
Okay. Look, are you looking to raise the entry level to maybe 10 ringgit with inflation biting now and cost also hitting you, right?
Oh, we have higher value plans.
Of course, but base level, are you still going to stick with 8, or you think the 8 will eventually go up to 10, which is a natural consequence?
No.
Wow.
8, you will sit on our name card, the number 8, you will sit on our building, bright neon 8, because not only has it been lucky for us, it is fat, fat.
Yeah. There you go, man. He understands his Cantonese and
white Chinese.
White Chinese. There you go. Truly a Malaysian citizen here. Okay, man. Look, there's one interesting a tab on your homepage which is called telcopreneurship, and actually somebody who's a business advisor to a group of entrepreneurs, right? Also brought up the question about what are the opportunities, right, for entrepreneurship within your ecosystem, and tell us about that. And I saw the one, you can win 1 car a year, 1%.
Well, actually, at our gala night, which we do once a year up in Genting, we're actually lucky. We gave out 20 cars.
What, 20 cars? When was this, the last gala?
Every January.
Every January.
Yeah, but we missed the one pandemic.
Oh, okay.
But everyone uses a mobile phone. Everyone needs services, whether it's prepaid or postpaid. And so we have something like 10,000 agents and we train them on how to sell our product, how to sell all our ancillary products. We're constantly adding new non-telco products.
You're saying it's going to get challenging because you need to know those products well enough to convince someone.
But it's adding more revenue opportunities for our partners, for our agents. And so we'll show you the simulation if you can sign up how many customers per month, you know. And I'm very proud to say we have many partners who from the early days were with us and they're earning 6 figures a month. I won't promise to make you a millionaire. This is not MLM where I drive up in a Ferrari and say you could be me in 2 years' time. No, it's hard work, it's a slog, but it's in the end, it's passive income that you enjoy. And if I tell you some stories, I'll cry.
Wow, seriously, very powerful. 10,000 agents, that's a lot. I'm surprised. Okay, there's a question from Minhalina Rizal. How is RedONE different from another MVNO or telco?
We are the only postpaid MVNO. In Malaysia and Thailand and Singapore, we're the only postpaid.
In all the 3 countries.
Yeah, the rest are all prepaid.
Correct.
Because it's cash upfront, whereas we bear the risk. I think there's a sign.
Yeah. Okay. We will wrap up. No. This is like just too many things to ask. And I do want to have one more question, because a lot of people have asked questions even before, while they registered for the event. They've already asked questions. Questions are coming in. But let me ask this one question about from the CEO of a startup. And it's apparently one of the top 200 edtech startups in the world.
Wow.
Just went to Silicon Valley. So a COO, we must ask, co-founder.
I should learn from him.
Yeah, exactly. I'll connect you too. So look, what do you think are the challenges for businesses in the post-COVID business environment? So the earlier one is actually 2-3 years and a smaller timeline, right? So you almost asked the same question, but what are the challenges, right, for the post-COVID business environment? So much more, maybe longer trend.
Well, I already explained. My immediate problem is the resourcing and the manpower. I think in the longer term, it's about changing mindsets.
Okay, why?
Because people are used. I had to fight with my HR the other day to continue to allow people to work from home.
Oh, really?
You see what I mean?
Yes, sir. Many bosses are like that. You see the jam, right? Yeah.
So HR wants everyone to come back to work. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
And so I had to sit her down and explain to her that the world has changed. And you can't give extra bonus based on how accurately they punch in and punch out anymore. We have to rethink how we measure our performance, our employees' performance, and their deliverables in a world where I may not see you for a whole month anymore.
But physically, you'll see.
Well, even Zoom, you have to schedule it. I can't bump into you at the water cooler and say, hey, by the way, how's this project? Correct. It's very different. We have to get used to this.
Yeah. So changing, just changing or breaking old mindsets, right? Because we are no more in the old world, right? I mean, what has happened? What happened in 2020 is something that hardly anyone in the planet has experienced before, and we all have to operate differently, right? Very interesting. Okay.
But the worst part is, if you don't allow people, for example, to work from home, you will lose your talent.
You lose talent, like you said, right? Especially technical talent, right? Incredible, right? The world is your oyster now. So you're going to lose your people, or you're going to lose someone who may not be technical, but has got a different bent of thinking and saying, why is my company being so old-fashioned? Screw you, man. I'm not going to be part of this company. I'm going to take my talent elsewhere. And it's going to be a loss for you. You're trying to you've got a big, hairy, audacious goal. You've got big ambitions. You need crazy people to join you, right? And to be part of this journey along with you.
Yeah, especially in Asia, we need to be more trusting.
Of course. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. And have some faith. Don't assume the worst. Assume the best.
True. So this is a trusting CEO, and this is
It has been abused. It has been abused.
Of course, normal lah. I would be shocked if you say I wasn't abused, right? But the fact that you can laugh about it and you're still powering ahead is an interesting organization. Good luck to you, and hopefully we'll bring you on the next time when you can say that we are #1 in Southeast Asia, right?
For sure.
That'll be the next show. Thank you very much.
RedONE, back to basics.